You want to be able to withdraw $30,000 from your account for 30 years after you retire. You expect to retire in 25 years. Your account earns 10% interest. How much money will you need to deposit each year to achieve your goals? This is an awesome rate. I've never seen that. That's really high. So for this problem, we want to break it down into 2 steps again. So we're going to look at a timeline. The first part of that timeline is when he's saving money. And he's trying to save money for 25 years up till when he retires. So this is for 25. So we'll label this as the first part. So here's your starting point. And then he wants to end up in 25 years with a big lump sum. That's your nest egg for retirement. He's making yearly payments into this account to save up money to retire. Then, once he retires, he wants to be able to use that money to live on. So the second part is going to happen over a span of 30 years. He wants to be able to pull out $30,000 per year to live on. What we're trying to figure out is how much money he needs to deposit every year to achieve this. So we're looking for these payments. Because of the way that this is set up, we're going to have to work backwards, and we're going to have to do this in 2 parts. The information that we have as of right now is the information for the 30 years. We have enough information with this 30 years to work backwards and find how much money we need for that nest egg. Even though it doesn't really match the concept of paying back a loan, we're going to use the loan installment plan formula. Now, the reason why we're using the loan installment is because of the way this question is set up. So he's withdrawing money out of this big lump sum. So think of this as he's pulling money out to pay himself. A lot of times when we use this formula, we're trying to use it to pay off a loan, a mortgage, something like that. But it's the same concept where he's pulling money out. He's just giving it to himself. So we're going to use the loan installment formula, or you can use GeoGebra or your TVM solver. And we're trying to find the nest egg. So that would be how much does he have to have in there to start with to be able to pull out that $30,000 every year. So what we're looking for is present value or the principal. Now he's doing this over a 30-year span, and he's pulling it out once a year. So this is going to be yearly. So I'm going to put little n as 1. And since we're doing it over 30 years, the total number of periods is going to be 30. The interest rate, which is awesome, is 10%. Future value, we're going to make the assumption that he pulls all the money out. So we're going to put down 0. It sounds morbid. We're expecting him to live 30 years and then he's done. And at that point, he'll have $0 in the bank. So what else do we need? Payment is going to be $30,000. And since he's receiving the money, I'm going to put this in as positive $30,000. So when we solve this, no matter what method you use, you are going to get that your nest egg that you need to have in there is going to be $282,807.43. So this is your nest egg. when we're solving for it, we're looking for the principal or the present value. Now, if we go back and look at the first part of the timeline where he's trying to save money for 25 years, we need to figure out the amount of the payment that he needs to put in every year to save up for that nest egg. So now, when we're looking at the first part of the timeline, that nest egg is going to be our future value because we're trying to figure out the payments so that we have that amount for the nest egg at the end. Now, for this part of the problem, if you're going to use formulas, you're going to want to use the savings plan. Because you're making payments to save up money. The big N would be 25 because we're doing this for 25 years once a year. We're not starting with any money in the bank. It doesn't say there's anything already in there, so our present value would be 0. Since this is the same account, it's going to be that awesome 10%. Payment is what we're trying to find. And our future value is going to be that nest egg. What payments do I need to make in order to have $282,807.43? When you get your answer for the payment, which is our final answer, you should get $2,875. And when we round to 2 places, we get 61 cents. So this is what he needs to put in the bank every year for 25 years in order to have that nest egg at the end of the 25 years. So then he can then use that money to withdraw $30,000 every year for 30 years.